Of the show for the morning. I think this is the second segment of the show for the morning. We have with us Pastor KWalker and Mr. Jerry Buckner. And of course, Mr. Buckner has some information to give to us in reference to coming home out of the incarceration period and some of the experiences that you met on your first opportunity to be back into free society.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Haney. When I first returned back to society, I was homeless. I didn't have nowhere to go. Mother and father was deceased. Couldn't find a job. So I did what I normally knew how to do. I thought that was all I knew how to do, was to get out there and sell drugs to survive. So I did just that. But then come along this young lady that took me to this church. It was New Year's Eve. She asked me did I wanted to go to church. I was just telling her a tale. I wasn't really gonna go, but just so happened I ended up over there, and I ended up in there and I felt a spirit that I never felt in that church. And I've been there ever since, 4 years now. And so I just started working there voluntarily. And so my pastor started giving me love offers and things like that, which that he still do. And I just continued to work and work, and eventually he hired me on, and today I really take care of all the property. Like I said, we have a program called Cafe Hope that help these brothers that return back to society, help them find jobs, live in quarters. We also help them get their GED, help them go to college. We have computers down there that they can come job search. And so I give back, I go back to the community. I see these brothers that I once was. And so they out here doing what they doing, but I don't down no one. You know, I talk to them and let them know that if you don't think no one loves you, it's somebody out here that loves you. People, these brothers and sisters really want to hear that someone loves them. And so when I tell them that, you know, they listen, and I ask them, you know, to come and let me show you a better way of life. Come to church, our church, you know, any church really. But that's where I got my help from, is really from God. You know, God showed me a vision that my purpose here on earth is to go back in the highways and byways and let these brothers and sisters know that it is a better way of life. And we can move forward if we come together and work together, empower our neighborhoods. You know, we truly need these brothers that have these entrepreneur skills to come out, you know, and also these brothers that's in retired, brothers and sisters that are in retired, that brick masons, carpenters, concrete finishers. You know, down there where I'm at, this is God's vision for us to help train these brothers so they can take the tools that are available out here, teach them how to use these tools to move forward and become productive in our society.
And I think, Reverend Pastor, you've had a recovery ministry for a long time. Why don't you tie that into what he's saying here?
Right now, the Hands of God Recovery Ministry is inactive right now, but at the same time, that's what it was set up and designed to do, was to receive people coming from the prison system, as well as people that were out here on the streets and were yet homeless, you know, and what was just trying to do, put them in a clean, safe, healthy, drug and alcohol-free living environment, and help them, you know, give them that chance. One thing that we gave people coming out of the prison system, Dr. Haney, we gave them what a lot of people wouldn't give them, and that was trust. You know, we give them trust right off the top. That we're going to trust that you would do the right thing. We're going to trust that you will, you know, follow the system and you know, and advance throughout in the process. But one thing I wanted to say, because Jerry was saying that, you know, he had been incarcerated, and I think he had been incarcerated like 22 years.
Yes.
And then he said when he got out, because of some of the challenges that he faced, and then the fact that he was homeless, you know, the state of Tennessee don't care if really, you know, what happens to you when you get out of prison. So, you know, there's a lot of situations they throw people out the door, and then you're like, you're on your own. So here it is, this guy homeless, and you know, facing these challenges of not being able to get a job, you know, 22 years incarcerated, I mean, you don't have any prior work history in society. So then what he say is, I went and did what I knew that I could do in order to survive, you know. But, you know, society would think that, you know, you would think somebody did 22 years, man, you know, they wouldn't go back to doing that. But, you know, you got to understand it's a natural thing for a human being to want to have, to want to live, to want to survive. And if that's all, it's not all that you know, but it is what you know.
What you've been doing for the last 22 years.
Well, you know, this can make you know you can do this. You know you can do this, and you can make this happen, as opposed to being rejected here and rejected there. So I mean, he did that, and a lot of people would say, well, that's how these criminals do, man. They go in there, no matter how much time they spend, they get back out, and then they do all kind of crazy stuff like that. It's because of the roadblock. It's because of all the obstacles that's in front of us when we come out of the prison system that says, look, okay, if you don't open this door, then I'll open that door. You know, I know how to open this door. I might have difficulty opening this. I might need you to help me open this one, but I don't need your help over here to open this one. I'll do what I have to do. Now, is it right? Absolutely no. It's not right, Dr. Haney, but at the same time, you know, if you got a person that's coming out, they got their own self to be responsible for. And a lot of times these people come out, they got kids, they got significant others and stuff. Some of them even have wives, or women that come out have husbands. You know, they have to live. You know, you got to eat. You know what I'm saying? So why not the community? Why should the community not embrace these individuals and understand and realize that one day that these individuals that you're watching on TV that committed these crimes, that's going into the prison system, one day they're going to sit there at their parole hearing, they're going to be released on parole back into society, and some of them could very well be your neighbor. Now, how do you want your neighbor, your next door neighbor to be? What kind of thought process would you like to see them in possession of? Do you want them with a criminal thinking mindset, or do you want somebody that's progressive, that's really trying to get back into the flow of mainstream society? So that's where we are right now in terms of empowering the community to be receptive to these individuals who are returning back into free world society with a need.
And so in a real sense, most of these individuals are simply asking for being able to be received by society without being condemned on the very, very front of it, and perhaps getting some kind of occupation or some kind of involvement with the community, jobs and etc., so that they might be able to make it on their own. So they're not asking for anything, nothing special, but they simply want human understanding.
Just human rights.
And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.